I am making an Arcana Force deck profile. I am mainly making this one because I ended up trading some of the horror stuff I had away. And I thought, why not try Danger Arcana Force, which I honestly really like how it's been doing so far. Starting off with the monsters, I play one copy of Arcana Force 3, the Empress. All the Arcana Force monsters have an effect that when they're summoned, you flip a coin, and they get an effect based on the result. Usually, heads is the good one. The Empress's heads effect is each time your opponent normal summons a monster, then you can special summon an Arcana Force monster from your hand. Which sometimes it's hilarious because my opponent will normal summon, allow me to then special summon something like the Fiend or the World, which is hilarious. However, its Tails effect makes so each time your opponent normal summons or sets a monster, you send a card from your hand to the graveyard. Which usually, if you don't want you'll want the heads effects when it's your card, but when you're giving it to your opponent, you'll want them to have the Tails effect. One copy of Arcana Force 4, the Emperor. The Emperor's head effect increases all your Arcana Force monsters by 500. Tails will weaken all your monsters by 500. Okay, I don't remember if I said 400 or 500, but it's 500. Next, I play the main starter of the deck, which is 3 copies Arcana Force 5, the Hierarchy. Or the Hierophant, the Hierarchy. The Hierophant has the effect when summoned, you can discard it, so that when you activate an Arcana card or effect that includes. I'm just going to read it because for some reason my brain's just butchering it. This card, so this turn your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when an Arcana Force monster is summoned to the field. Then this card is summoned, toss a coin, heads, special summon a level 4 lower Arcana Force monster from your deck with a different name from the monsters you control in your graveyard. Tails, special summon an Arcana Force monster from your deck to your opponent's side of the field. Then next, I play one copy Arcana Force 6, the Lovers. The Lover's heads effect makes so it comes as 2 tributes for a tribute summon a monster. Its Tails effect makes so you can't tribute summon at all. Next, I play 3 copies of Arcana Force 15, the Fiend. The Fiend is mainly in here because you can discard it to add the field spell, which is extremely important. But the Fiend has the heads effect. When an attack is declared involving this card, target a monster on the field, destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to its controller. Or Tails, if an attack is declared involving this card, destroy all monsters on the field. Next, I play 3 copies of Arcana Force 19, the Sun. The Sun is a free summon while you control a monster that has a coin flip effect. Or if a card that has a coin tossing effect on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use each of the following effects of the Sun once per turn. You can only use that effect of it once per turn, and then if it's summoned, toss a coin. If its head, set a spell from your deck that has a coin tossing effect, or Tails, destroy all cards in spell and trap zones. This one is the only one where getting the Tails effect isn't that bad, which usually it's only if you're going second, which this deck isn't able to go second very well, if I'm being honest. Next, I play 1 copy of Arcana Force 21, the World. The World has 2 effects. They all have 2 effects. The World's heads effect is during the end phase, you contribute 2 monsters for cost to then be able to skip your opponent's next turn. And then its Tails effect is during your opponent's draw phase, add the top card of your opponent's graveyard to their hand. But like I said, normally if you're summoning the World, it's because you get to choose because of the light barrier. And then next, I play 1 copy of Arcana Force Extra, the Light Ruler, and Arcana Force Extra, the Dark Ruler. Both of these monsters require you to tribute 3 monsters to special summon them. And then the Light Ruler has the effect that when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can target one card in your graveyard to return it to your hand. Or Tails, when a spell, trap, or monster effect activates that targets this card as a quick effect, it loses 1,000 attack and defense, and negate the activation and destroy that card. And then the Dark Ruler has the effect of its head's effect. It can attack twice during the same battle phase. And then if this card battles twice using this effect, it's changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. This card's battle position cannot be changed until the end of the next turn, except with the card effect. Or Tails, if this card is destroyed, destroys all cards on the field. Which one card I do like, I did think about using, but decided not to, was 3 copies of, I think it was Changing Fate. Or it's one of the Arcana Force trap cards that lets you change the effect if it has heads or tails. So you can make it if your opponent's about to destroy the Dark Ruler, you can change it from heads to tails, so that when it's destroyed, it destroys all cards on the field. Or your opponent's going to... It's just something I like using to try to change things up, so that if your opponent's trying to do one thing, you can go, okay, how about we do the opposite now? I want to say Changing Destiny, but I know that's a Jack Atlas card. Anyway, continuing on with the deck profile, I play 3 copies of Desperado Barrel Dragon. This card is only in here for its effect when it's sent to the graveyard by card effect, which lets you add a monster with a coin flip effect from your deck to your hand. So it can be used to add any Arcana Force monster from your deck to your hand. Next, for the dangers, I play 2 copies of Chupacabra. All the dangers have an effect where you can reveal them. Your opponent chooses a card in your hand at random to discard, and if the discard card didn't have the same name as the reveal danger, you get to summon that reveal danger from your hand and then draw 1 card. And then they all have their own unique effects to activate when they're discarded. Where Chupacabra will let you target a danger that's in your graveyard and special summon it. I play 1 copy of Mothman. Mothman will make it so each player gets to draw a card and then discards a card. Next, I play 3 copies of Danger Nessie. Nessie will, when discarded, lets you add a danger from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of Nessie. Then I play 2 copies of Thunderbird. Thunderbird lets you target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. And then 2 copies of Bigfoot. Bigfoot lets you target a monster on the field and destroy it. The other thing I forgot to mention is that the only hard ones for turns on the danger monsters are their effects when discarded. So you can just keep doing the same danger over and over until it gets discarded or a monster with the same name. Well, until it gets discarded, really. And then that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I play 3 copies of Arcana Reading. This is probably the riskiest card of the deck, where if you control Lightbearer, you can choose which one you want, but you flip a coin. If it's heads, you get to add a coin flip card from your deck to your hand. But if it's tails, your opponent gets to add 1 card from their deck to their hand. And then Arcana Reading also has the great effect where you can banish it, so you get an additional normal summon of Arcana Force monster that turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Arcana Spread. Arcana Spread lets you flip a coin, or if you control Lightbearer, you can choose the result. Which is, if it's heads, you special summon a level 4 lower Arcana Force monster from your deck. Or if it's tails, you can special summon one monster that has a coin flip effect from your graveyard. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 card from your deck to your hand that has a coin flip effect. You can only use 1 Arcana Spread effect per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Light Force. Light Force has the effect where once per turn, during your standby phase, if Light Barrier is on the field, you flip a coin. And then if it tails, the following effects are negated until your next standby phase. Basically, your fairy monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. And then you can discard a card to add 2 Arcana Force monsters with different names from each other from your deck to your hand. And then you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except for Arcana Force monsters. And then lastly, for the deck, I play 3 copies of Light Barrier. Light Barrier is the most important card for the Arcana Force deck, as while it's on the field, then you just don't actually have to flip a coin. However, it does have the effect that during your standby phase, you flip a coin. If it's tails, then its effects are negated. But it has the effects of when an Arcana Force monster summon, you apply the effect without flipping a coin. And then if your Arcana Force monster destroys an opponent's monster at battle, you gain life points equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. And then that's it for the main deck. Well, honestly, I'll probably end up trying to re-get the horror stuff for this deck, just because I feel like the horror stuff is actually honestly better, just because you don't have to rely on chance to discard the right things. And then, starting off with the extra deck is 3 copies of the most important card of the extra deck, which is 3 copies of Arcana Force Extra, the Chaos Ruler. The Chaos Ruler has the effect that, let's see, it really has more than just one summon, flip a coin. But it has to be summoned by sending the above cards on the field from the graveyard, so if it's a mirror match, you can just send 3 of your opponent's Arcana Force monsters to the graveyard. Just special summon this card. And then when it's summoned, you flip a coin. Obviously, you choose if Light Barrier is on the field. Which is heads, you can special summon a level 10 Arcana Force monster from your hand or deck ignoring summoning conditions. Or if it's tails, you get to add 1 card from your deck to your hand that has a coin tossing effect. And then while Light Barrier is on the field, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters on the field. So I do like that it actually is a Floodgate monster. It's just kind of sad that it has to be 33 and not like 4,000. Like the other 2 rulers. I feel like I could have made it 4,000 since it has no protection effects whatsoever. And then the rest of the extra deck is just whatever you want it to be. So I chose to have some links, and then the rest are XZs. Where I play 1 copy of IP Masquerena, just a link summoned during the opponent's turn. And then a link monster summoned using IP Masquerena cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Next, I play 1 copy of SP Little Knight. Little Knight has the effect that when it's link summoned using a monster that's summoned from the extra deck, you can target 1 card on the field or in either player's graveyard, banish it. And then you cannot attack directly the turn you use that effect. And then its last effect makes it so that if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can activate Little Knight's effect, targeting 1 monster you control and 1 other monster on the field, banish both until the end phase. Next, I play 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus. Each of the Nightmares, which I play 1 Phoenix and 1 Unicorn, have an effect where you discard a card, target 1 type of card on the field, and then do something to it. Cerberus will let you target a special summon monster in the main monster zone to destroy. Phoenix will let you target a spell or trap on your opponent's field to destroy. And Unicorn will let you target just 1 card of your opponent's field and return it back to the deck. Which I believe it's returned to the deck and not hand. I can never remember. Let's see. Target 1 card on the field. Shuffle it into the deck. And then after that, they share the effect that they're co-linked when that effect was used. You get to draw a card after it resolves. And then they do have another effect past that, but because of how rarely this deck will actually co-link, I'm not going to bother with it. And then because of how if you link summon, you usually are using high-level monsters, I play 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. I think it's, Soldier of Chaos. Which has the effect that if this card is linked summon using a level 7 or higher monster's material, your opponent cannot target with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And then when this card destroys a monster at battle, you can activate 1 of 3 effects. You can have it gain 1500 attack, make it be able to attack again, or make it so it can attack a second time, I should say, not attack again. We can banish 1 card on the field. And then for the Xyz monsters, I play 1 copy of Dagars the Timeless. Just being able to draw 2. You can detach materials from it. Okay. We detach 2 materials and activate 1 of 3 things, but then you skip something. Where you can draw 2 cards and discard 1, but your next draw phase is skipped. you can summon a monster from your graveyard, or from either player's graveyard, but your next main phase is skipped, or you can double the attack of a monster, but your next battle phase is skipped. Then I play one copy of Baguska, Terribly Tired Tapir, because when you need to stall for time, this is one of the best cards to do it if you can make rank 4s. Because while Baguska's in defense mode and it has materials, it has materials. If Baguska's in defense mode, all monsters on the field are changed to defense, and the activated effects of monsters in defense mode are negated. And during each of your standby phases, you have to detach material from Baguska or else it self-destructs. Then for rank 8s, I play one copy of Dingirsu. When this card is summoned, you can either attach a banished card to it as material, or you can target one card of the field and send it to the graveyard. Then I play one copy of Heretic Sundragon Overlord of Heliopolis. I honestly don't know. I'll probably end up replacing this card with something like Coach King Giant Trainer, which will let you up to thrice per turn detach material, draw a card if it's a monster, or you draw a card and reveal it if it's a monster, inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent, but you can't conduct your battle phase that turn. But Heliopolis lets you detach material, tribute any number of monsters from your hand or field, to then be able to destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. Then I play one copy number 1, Infection Buzz King. Buzz King has the effect when it's summoned, look at your opponent's extra deck and send a card from it to the graveyard. Buzz King can also use its effect so that once per turn you can detach a material to target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. Then if it was a monster, your opponent takes half its attack on field as damage. And then its final effect is during your opponent's standby phase. It's during your draw phase, I believe. It's either your draw phase or your standby. Let's see, where is that effect? During your standby phase, you can attach one card from your opponent's graveyard to this card's material. And you can only use each effect of number 1 Infection Buzz King once per turn. And then lastly, for the extra deck, I play one copy of Super Star Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. This card can be XZ summoned by using the strongest monster on your field. If your opponent has, what was it? I forget the condition exactly. See, during the turn after your opponent has special summon 2 or more monsters from the extra deck, you can also XZ summon using one monster you control with the highest attack, your choice at Tide. And then, if you do, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of this turn. While this XZ summon monsters on the field, neither player can activate the effects of monsters with 3,000 or more attack. And then once per turn, you can detach material from this card, return one monster on the field to the hand. And that is it for my Danger Arcana Force deck profile. If you have ideas what I can do to improve the deck. Also, I forgot to put Foolish Burial in, which is another card that can help with searching. So if you have ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas for decks like to see made in the future, or decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. I always read the comments. Thank you for watching.